everyone, my name is Erin, and as part of the English assignment, we are to demonstrate how to do something. My thing would be how to plant a seed. Gardening's always been kind of my therapy in terms of getting away and getting outside. So I figured it'd be a good idea to show basically how to plant a seed. As you can see, I've got some stuff already lined out. I have the seed starting mix. Usually do whatever's organic, Jiffy's, Miracle-Gro, whatever's organic. And usually use the seed starting mix. You can use regular gardening soil as well, but that tends to bring in more different microorganisms that you don't want. Just in case you're starting a new seed, you don't want any contamination. Seed starting mix is pretty generic. Sometimes they will have little twigs. You'll see dead bugs or anything like that of the sort because it's obviously been composted. If you're planting carrots, this would be a good idea to sift out any of the larger debris just so it doesn't interfere with the roots of the carrot. But anything else, you just take some and you put it into the container. This is the container. It's a little cardboard container. It's recyclable. You can use plastic, you can use paper pots. I've used those as well and made them. Actually have a couple transplants in them right now waiting to go outside. Unfortunately here in New York, it's still a little too cold to plant anything outside that's not cold hardy, but I'm waiting. As you can see, I've got some water. I've got my plant tag already written out. I like to use the bamboo ones. They tend to last longer. The plastic one, the ink can run or the marker can fade by the end of the growing season, so you don't necessarily know what you're planted. And I also have my seeds. I have the melon, the golden honeymoon. It's Baker Creek heirloom seeds. It's the only seeds I usually use. Baker Creek's really fast with shipping. They're really good germination rates. Pretty much anything I've gotten from there germinates. Haven't had any issues. I will say if you ever plant lettuce, they typically only last for a year, those seeds, and then the next year they have lower germination rate is what I'm noticing, but everything else is pretty good. The other thing I like about Baker Creek, if you notice on the side, it tells you how long they're going to sprout, what they really like to be grown in, how deep to plant the seed, spacing. Obviously it says frost hardy, so this is not something to plant out before your last frost date, and then how long they need to have sun in order to grow fruit. It also gives you some instructions if you've never planted this before. Melon I have planted in the past. I haven't grown this one. They're pretty much as soon as you can get out in the soil and there's no more frost, you need to plant it. Otherwise, it's just we have too short of a growing season in New York and you won't be able to get any fruit from this. And then I also took some of the seed starting mix. I've already put it into this bucket. I've already put some water in it. What you need to do before you plant your seed is put some seed starting mix or garden soil, and then you need to put some water into it. You basically want it damp. You do not want to be able to pick it up and have water running out of your hands. This way, when you do this, you already have the water in there. So all you have to do is put the seed into the soil, and then from there, you cover it up with a little bit of dirt, and you're able to go on your day. If you put dry soil in and then you put water in it, you have a risk of like washing away the soil on top of your seed. Your seed might get waterlogged. It might go too deep because the soil is really thin. It's very fluffy so that it allows roots to be grown in. So you don't want that. So basically what you do is take some soil. I usually wear gloves. I do have them on the side. I just haven't done that. I actually have like 4 pairs of gloves for different types of things that I'm doing. You fill it up just about to the top. Take one of the seeds that I've already taken out. You put it into usually the center. You put it in. The general rule is as big as the seed is how deep it needs to go down. Then you go ahead and cover it up. A lot of these just deep enough so that it's covered. Seeds just like to be dark. So if it's just barely covered, for instance, like lettuce seeds, they just want to be barely covered up. Carrot seeds, you actually don't even have to cover them. You just have to keep it dark. So if you cover it with like a plastic wrap, you cover it with a piece of plywood when you put it into the ground, you keep it there until it starts to sprout, and then you take it off and it's good to go. So that's how you plant it. And then as I've already marked out what it is, you stick it in here so you don't forget what you've planted. And then from there, you decide to put it under a heat lamp, put it outside, or put it on a heating mat. Heating mat does increase germination, and from there you can move it outside when the time is right. And that's how you start gardening and start to plant a seed. Thanks.